Om Tat Ganeshaya Vidmahi Vakratundaaya Dhimahi Tanno Danti Prachodayate Om Tat Paramparaya Vidmahi Jnanalingeshwaraya Dhimahi Tanno Guruः Prachodayate Om Yoga Maharishi Dr. Swami Geetananda Giri Guru Maharaj Ki Jai. Yogena Chittasya Padena Vacham Malam Sharirasya cha Vaidyakena Yopakarotam Pravaram Muninam Patanjalim Pranjalir Anatosmi Om Mata Sadhana Padaha svādhyāyād-iṣṭa-devatā saṁprayogaḥ. Through introspection and self-analysis, we become one with our inherent divinity. Perfection in svādhyāya. Perfection is detached introspection and skillful self-analysis produces communion with Ishta-devatā, one's personal deity, one's divinity. Ishta-devatā and Kula-devatā are the personal deity and the family deity. These refer to the inherent divinity within each one that initially manifests in different ways. Just as there are people or things that attract us more than others, some personal forms of the divine draw us more deeply, thus enabling a concentrated focus of mind. Perception of differentiation does exist in the initial stages. Later on, this differentiation, vishesha, and markedness, lingamatra, disappear, and there is only all oneness, alingani. The principle of moving from the known to the unknown is a basic spiritual principle. One starts with something known, and from there one may perceive what was previously unknown. Ishta-devatā helps the sadhak to move from the manifest forms of the divinity to the unmanifest and unknown forms, termed the arupa. Through svādhyāya, we attain a sense and a state of integration, communion, and oneness with our own personal form of divinity. Maharishi Patanjali doesn't say that svādhyāya is identification with God, but ties svādhyāya to our personal deity because this niyama demands self-knowledge. It is said that one may know who a man is by the gods they worship. If we understand ourselves completely, we finally realize that we are the divine. The personal deity, Ishta-devatā, is a path, a way, a ladder that we climb to a height from which we may spring into even greater levels. Introspective self-analysis is the guide on the inner journey, which continues with our Ishta-devatā as a loving, supportive traveling companion. When the destination is reached, the guide disappears and one merges into wholeness, in which there is no longer any differentiation of form. Hence the rishis say, God is one, and humans worship Him in many forms. Svādhyāya is not mere academic scriptural study. These studies are very important, but unless they are applied to oneself and one's own life, they become dead-ish space on a disk that is not used. We can learn about various life situations and the right attitudes to be adopted towards them by reading the scriptures, but if we don't apply these to our own life, what is the use? Many institutions limit svādhyāya to an hour of scriptural study per day, per week. This is only a part and not the complete meaning of svādhyāya. If learning remains in books, it is not svādhyāya. It becomes svādhyāya only when it enters our consciousness and it is applied to every moment of our lives. When we live in such an aware and conscious state, we are in higher communication and communion. Hence Patanjali says we merge with our inherent divinity in the perfection of svādhyāya. Om loka samasta sukhinu bhavantu sarve janaha sukhinu bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om.